Hi, I'm Bill McDonald. St. Joe's healthcare system believes that all citizens need to be informed about the important health issues affecting their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Wells Fargo, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, making healthcare work, the New Jersey Education Association, working for great public schools for every child, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and banking under the principle of stewardship. PSE&G, committed to improving New Jersey's economy and strengthening its communities. And by Verizon Communications.
This is One-on-One.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
People like laughing at others, so I don't mind if the other is me.
See, you go right into the character. That's what it is.
I'm bringing families together a half an hour each week. Man, I'm doing something special.
And so I do feel successful.
Welcome to a very special edition of One-on-One. I've said it before, but it's never been more appropriate than right now. Let me introduce the gentleman you're about to see on camera. He is Coach Bob Hurley. He is a legendary coach at St. Anthony's High School in Jersey City. 41 years he's been the head coach, but he's written a terrific book called Chasing Perfect, The Will to Win in Basketball and Life. Coach, it's an honor to have you with us.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks
Our
for
good
having
friend Lucia Gibbons over at Wells Fargo from Jersey City.
From my building.
From your building, right?
The Sugar House. We live in the same building, yes.
I know that building. Hey, tell folks, for those who don't know Jersey City, what's the community like?
Well, it's still neighborhood. I think that, if you're in an area, like we live in an area called Paulus Hook, you have stores to walk to, some good restaurants. Transportation there. Yeah. You can park your car and you can get around. You don't have to, schlep someplace else.
But it's a tough town too. It's got other parts of town.
You get to the inner city. It's an entirely different world, and you need to be in and out of the inner city before reach a certain time.
For those who do not know the St. Anthony story, 200 and how many students?
I think now about 230, 235.
235 students. St. Anthony's does not have a gym.
No.
St. Anthony's has won a few championships?
A few. We've won a couple over the years.
Name,
yes.
How many?
Well, we've won 25 state championships in 41 years, and we've won 4 national championships, and I think we've been pretty consistently ranked like top 5 teams in our state over a long period of time.
With no gym. So let's do this. Let's take a look at 2011 national championships. St. Anthony's against St. Patrick's. Let's take a look at the clip.
Just an outstanding game plan by St. Anthony, turning St. Pat's into a jump shooting team, creating mismatches with Kyle Anderson, Miles Mack creating momentum with steals on defense and big finishes. Great effort by the front court of the Friars. They just left no doubt in this one.
Kevin Boyle advanced, and maybe there is never again a St. Patrick's St. Anthony game like this. We're going to storm the court, by the way. And the St. Anthony Friars has just knocked off the #1 team in the country, St. Patrick's, 62-45.
How much you love what you do?
Well, I love that particular day. That was a real.
What was it like knocking off St. Patrick's, #1 team in the country?
Well, that was the biggest game I've ever coached.
I've coached 41 years. That's the one.
Biggest game
Why?
I've ever coached in. Well, I think it was the significance of the game. It's kind of late in my career, so when you do something of significance later on, you're always trying to reinvent yourself as a as a professional or certainly as a coach. So I have a chance there to play in front of a national audience. There's all kinds of scrutiny. And we grind out a very good performance and beat a tremendous high school team with a kid who turns out to be the #2 pick in the NBA draft in Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. So it was just, there've been other very, very good moments. And some of my other kids from other teams will be annoyed at me for saying this, but I think that was probably the biggest game we've ever had.
Coach, people may not realize this. Coach Hurley is not a full-time coach. He doesn't teach at St. Anthony's. In fact, your job is as a probation officer.
Yeah, well, that was now I'm retired.
Yes.
But, you know, for most of the years.
Retired in quotes.
Yeah, I do different things now than was scheduled
For how many
before.
years were you a probation officer?
Almost 30 years.
Wow.
And I did adult supervision in the inner city. So it was a very difficult job. And it made you want to get to practice in the afternoon because the frustration in not having success during the day, dealing with adults that already made a million mistakes.
Right.
You couldn't wait to get to practice because when you get to practice, you're dealing with kids that have potential, but they've got to do all the right things to reach the potential.
For these young athletes, for these young people who you're coaching, some of them from pretty rough neighborhoods, okay? Tough communities. If they did not make it in basketball, if they did not make it academically, because a big part of your coaching, mentoring, was getting them into a position to go to college, correct?
Correct.
Talk about why that's so important.
Well, you just see that if you can use the skill that they have in basketball, and it helps to open up that next door to college, when they get to college now, and particularly to go away to college, because you're now going to experience 4 years different than this neighborhood that you grew up in. And now you go away, and you know, people say you learn more outside the classroom at college. And now the kid goes away for 4 years, and every time he comes home, you see a more polished young man. And then after 4 years, they're heading off now for job interviews, and they've distanced themselves from the kids they grew up with.
You know, it's interesting in going through the book and getting ready for this program. Coach Hurley, obviously, his track record in basketball speaks for itself. His track record in helping these young men, young boys become men and hopefully become citizens who contribute. It's about basketball and life, success, the way you talk about it. You say, we pay attention to details. We don't let little things become big things. I want you to talk about that because I have an obsession with talking about the little things, which very often my team, and we have a great team all around here, I'll say, you're making a mountain out of a molehill, and I have a feeling your leadership style is much better than mine, but I'm obsessed about the little things. Talk about it.
Yeah, well, I noticed this when you first came in that you are, and I think it starts with when we first come in a gym. We rent a gym. So as soon as we walk in the door,
you rent it because you don't have it.
Exactly, we rent it. We've been all over the city over the years, but now we're relatively close. But first thing we do when we go in, we want the place to be as clean as possible. So I get a mop right away. I mop the floor. The managers and assistant coaches pick up anything that's in the place. And then when we're done, we always want to leave the building in better shape than it was. A locker room should be immaculate. And then you're setting a tone for when they come on the floor. You're going to make sure that every little thing in the practice you go over, because you don't know what slippage you're going to get if you allow things every day. And I always say that after losing, all of a sudden now you're going to get back and tighten your belt. But if you were to make sure while you're successful, you don't let slippage, then maybe you don't lose so often because it's human nature.
Let's talk about business and life. Very often in business, for anyone watching right now, and by the way, get the book, it is called Chasing Perfect, The Will to Win in Basketball and Life. You do well. We have a great production here. You do have a great day at work. You do a project. You have a great game, whatever it is. I happen to know enough about your style is that you'll celebrate, but I notice you never get too high, and you will now then break the game down, and you will start talking about what didn't go well, and you'll obsess over those things. Why? Why can't you just celebrate and say, let's be happy, we're good, let's go on to the next game? Why do you have to obsess over what didn't go right?
Well, I think Bill Parcells says it very well. Bill Parcells says there's winning and there's misery. And even though you just won, you don't want to
By the way, our cameraman Steve Barcy just laughed because he recognizes what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, because there's winning, but there's going to be misery if you let the win itself be bigger than just on that particular night how you played. You're always looking to play a perfect game.
Perfect. There's no such thing, Coach.
But in chasing perfect, you don't let anything slide, and then you have a night like St. Pat's where you grind out your performance. The kids keep fighting through obstacles, and then finally the door opens a little bit, and you rip that door right off the hinges when the opportunity's there, because you've disciplined yourself to the point where, like, you allow the mistakes, you fight through the mistakes, but you're in pursuit of getting a run going where you get control of it.
How does that work in business and in life, though?
Well, I just think
you're not working with athletes. You're working with people in the office. You're working in business and with human beings, not trained athletes. It's different.
Yeah, but I think the goal would be the same, to be successful. And whether it's individually, like we always say to the kids, there's going to be individual success at the end of team success. So if you go into work every day and you do your job, you help people, you're a good coworker, you're helping younger workers, you mentor people. Somebody asks you to do something, you immediately do it. You're helping the group, and then ultimately the group is going to be successful, and then it comes back to you. But a lot of people, particularly younger people, they want individual success, and they don't know that it's only going to come as part of the organization, growing and being successful.
You are, you don't mind me saying, you're 65?
Yes. Yes, you can say that. It's in fact true.
It's public, right? You've been doing this for 41 years. How do you keep your passion, your intensity, your enthusiasm?
Well, I found something as a young person that I really liked. Growing up in the city, the playground was where I spent a lot of my time, and had younger siblings. So I was entrusted every once in a while with watching my brothers. The best way I figured I could do that was take them to the playground. And then, as time went on, I was always choosing up sides in the park. I could always come up with a good team, whether we're playing stickball.
You were the guy, weren't you?
I was one of the guys who was organizing all the time.
And by the way, you passed on to your sons, Bobby and Danny, real quick. Update on the great coaches.
Yeah, Danny's now at University of Rhode Island, and Bobby's now head coach at University of Buffalo. So there's a family business where they're making money in the family business. I always did it as kind of an avocation.
Well, show a picture of Bobby and Danny real quick if you could. Paul Levine, our producers. They're your boys right there. Boy, I'll tell you. And another time when you come back, can we talk a little bit more about sportsmanship, and hopefully the situation at Rutgers as we're doing this program will be better than what it is today.
Yeah, it's at a low time, and I got to think that it was rock bottom, and they're going to get themselves going again.
It's a state university. We hope it turns around, but we also hope that folks go out and get this book. Whether you're into basketball or not, you've got to be into Chasing Perfect. The book is called Chasing Perfect, The Will to Win in Basketball and Life. The coach, Bob Hurley, is in the house. Your co-writer here is with Daniel?
Dan Paisner.
Oh, he's got to give credit, right? There's no I in team.
Dan did most of the, I did a lot of the talking, and Dan, was the structure guy here.
Coach, it's an honor.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
having me,
much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's why it's called Going One-on-One with Bob Hurley. I think he won. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks.
If you would like more information on this program, or if you'd like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Visit us online at oneonone.org, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD.
John Hartmann is the author of Jacket, The Trials of a New Jersey Criminal Defense Attorney. Good to see you, John.
Nice to see you.
This book is interesting. You said you wrote it with your son in mind.
Yeah, my son, he just turned 7, but I'm an attorney. I'm a criminal defense attorney. Like any profession, over the years, you pick up little tricks of the trade, and I was thinking maybe one day my son wants to become a lawyer. I can put this up in a shoebox, and he can look at it. And one thing led to another, and the book developed, and I managed to get it published.
And Jacket means your criminal history.
Yeah, it's slang for criminal case history. Whenever you meet a client, one of the first things I learned when I started practicing almost 20 years ago, always ask a person, what's your jacket like, so they know right away you're familiar with the lingo.
Interesting. Nate Smith, interesting character. 3 years in prison for a robbery he did not commit. A lot of people in prison say they are innocent, but you actually ran into another inmate who said to you, hey, quote, we all say we're innocent in here, but Nate really is innocent.
Yeah, the first time I met Nathaniel Smith, even then he had the reputation, this guy's really innocent. I had a guy who I had to meet at the workhouse, and he was telling me about his case. He had some lousy alibi defense, and he's leaving. He said, hey, Mr. Hartmann, I hear you're representing Nathaniel Smith. And I said, yeah, I am. He said, well, he's really innocent. And I said, well, I know he is, but you told me you're innocent too. He said, yeah, but he really is innocent. It's funny. Yeah, there are very few people who get convicted are actually innocent. He's one of the very few people I've ever come across, maybe the only one that I personally had experience with, a guy who was wrongly convicted.
It's interesting, the book has a humorous tone, but there are also serious parts of this too. Parts of the book give advice, I guess it's for first-time lawyers, about picking a jury, cross-examining a witness, the best, I imagine also the worst county jails. The keys to picking a jury, what would they be?
Well, from a criminal defense point of view, you want to pick people who take you're presumed to be innocent. You want to pick people who take that presumption serious. You want to pick people who are liberal. You want to pick folks.
Why liberal?
Because they're, quite frankly, more likely, and I'm a Republican, I'm pretty conservative, but you want people who are going to take that view more seriously. I like to pick folks who are Jewish. They tend. This is just. I hate to be generic.
Boy, you're profiling right now.
You know, well, that's what
time.
I can do. This. I'm not the state. I can profile as much as I want. African Americans, folks like that. But again, most people give you a fair shot at a jury.
Since you're profiling, how are Italians on juries?
Not too good.
Wait a minute.
Just kidding.
Come on,
I'm
seriously.
kidding. No, you know what? Just in all fairness, I ran for office once, and I ran as a Republican. And my general feeling is that if a guy voted for me, I probably don't want him in the jury box. He voted against me. He's probably a good person to have.
You actually ran for the state legislature.
Yeah, I was elected when I was 24.
You're one of the youngest Republicans.
Youngest Republican ever elected, and the youngest ex-assemblyman of either party. I was 26 when I lost.
That's interesting. 25 when elected, 27 when I lost.
Okay.
This should be a club for us. There's just two of us. It's a very small club.
It's unique.
It is unique.
It was a great experience. I got to help some people. In all fairness, I was a little out on my leg, but it was a great experience.
You have an interesting line where you say politicians and criminals are pretty similar. From your experience in the State House, you said, but on occasion, at least criminals tell you the truth.
You know
now,
what?
are you being tongue-in-cheek there, John, or is that your commentary on politicians and criminals? And are you including the Governor Christie, in that?
Well, in all fairness, Governor Christie is one of the few politicians that I really admire.
Oh, except for him.
Well, I'll tell you why, because he's one of the few guys who really calls it straight. Now, that being said, I make fun of people like Jack Kemp in there as well. I've had an experience with him when he was in Trenton one day. But just in general, again, I just think people generally feel that politicians don't call it straight. And that was my general experience in the Assembly and being involved in politics. And obviously with criminal defense, it's the same thing. But again, I was being tongue-in-cheek to an extent.
Would you want, given your experience, John, would you actually want your son to become a lawyer?
You know what? He has to have the right disposition. I think he does. You have to be friendly. You have to like people. You have to. You can't sit behind a desk. From what I do, I wouldn't want my daughter to do it. I think it's a lousy profession for a woman. It's certainly tougher, but you know, almost all. There are a few exceptions, but almost all successful criminal defense attorneys are men. It's just.
Why do you think that is?
You know what? I hate to say it. It's just. I think you just get more respect when you go into it's. Let's face it, going into a jail is something which you're not comfortable with. It's, you know, a woman's going to be less comfortable than a man going into a jail, and you have to be willing to go to places like that. You have to be willing to deal with people who are rougher around the edges. You know, a lot of these guys too, my God, if you're an attractive looking woman, they're going to be hitting on you. I know some good looking public defenders, and, you know, they're just, the guys, you know, it's just
That's pretty sexist stuff.
Well, it's true. I mean, when we call it real, that's the way it is. And I wouldn't want my daughter to really be like that.
You would not want your daughter to
I would
be
not
a
want her to
criminal
be a criminal defense attorney. It's also.
She said to you, Dad, I have a passion for protecting innocent people who are wrongly accused. I want to be a criminal defense attorney. You say,
you know what, honey, if you want to do it, that's really what you want to do. But I read my book and make your decision after that. That's my suggestion.
But you really do think it's different being a female in this field versus a male?
Oh, absolutely. The other thing that's rougher about for a woman, I'm at court 3-4 nights a week, at least 3, sometimes 4, and it's, you know, if you're raising a family, it's really tough. I'm very fortunate. I have a very good wife who stays at home, takes care of the children. But you know, if she were working like that, we couldn't do it.
How did you write this book and when?
I wrote it usually in the morning. It took me about 5 months, and I just would get up around 5:30, write for an hour and a half, and that was it.
What kind of reaction have you gotten from your colleagues?
Pretty positive. I don't have any axes to grind. I try to, you know, be fair to people. I had a general rule. If I was going to say something nice about a person, I was going to mention their name in the hope they would buy it. But that's a joke. But the few people I was kind of critical of, I didn't mention their name.
So it's interesting. You took a somewhat of a tongue-in-cheek tone in the book, but you're also serious as well. You do take shots at elected officials, politicians, if you will, as a class. But you don't take shots at lawyers, and lawyers take a lot of shots from the rest of us.
Correct.
Because?
I'm a lawyer. I'm not going to eat my own.
Why not?
Because it's for lawyers.
I know that a lot of us in the media, we're blowhards. You know, we get on our soapbox and we're hypocrites in all kinds of ways.
You're not.
Well, I'm not, because I'm better than the rest. But
Correct.
the reality is that's a joke. But the reality is this. Do you think that a significant amount of criticism that the legal field takes is warranted?
Not really.
Because?
Listen, I try to explain what it was like to be a criminal defense attorney here. It's not like I'm out there digging ditches in the middle of the summer. It's not that difficult a job, but we serve an important purpose to defend people.
And if you need one.
If you know what, yeah, people are often critical of lawyers until you need one. or your kid gets in trouble for a DWI or worse, and all of a sudden you want me to, rip the prosecutor's throat out. But until then,
all the things people complain about lawyers until
they get in trouble. That's just, but that's just the way it is. I'm not talking about other type. Divorce lawyers have a bad reputation because people go to see them when they get divorced. It's very unpleasant.
It's the circumstance.
Yeah, it's pretty much the circumstances. But I take some shots at lawyers. I can't think of any, but I'm sure there are some there.
You love the law, don't you?
I like the law a lot. You know what it is? I like the people. I like the stories. I like dealing with people. I see a whole host of different people every day. People who have Ivy League degrees to people who are just getting out of rehab.
Well, it's an interesting life, and it's an interesting book, and I suggest everyone go out and get it. It's called Jacket, which refers to your criminal history.
Correct.
The trials of a New Jersey criminal defense attorney, John Hartmann. You did quite well since you got out of the legislature.
I did okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Adubato.
One-on-one will continue right after this. Stay with us. Good job.
If you would like more information on this program, or if you'd like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Visit us online at oneonone.org, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD.
Dr. Marianne Vakalis is Interim Provost at Berkeley College. Good to see you, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Well, it's our pleasure. We were talking right before we got on the air officially. Online education growing exponentially. Why?
I think more and more people now are interested in online. More students in higher education are older. They have lots going on, lots of responsibilities. They don't have the time to come on site, to come to a classroom. So online is available and it's growing.
Let me play devil's advocate here. Since the college student is older and has more demands, family pressures, economic pressures, other pressures, they don't have the time to be on campus. I thought to myself, well, that means the college experience is changing. So how do they then socialize and connect with other students, faculty, and others connected to the university or the college life? Online.
Online. There are many different ways, and I think the college experience is changing. And I think more and more students are not doing the traditional campus experience, residential. They're doing classes online, and students can do clubs online.
Clubs online?
Clubs
online. Give me an example.
We actually at Berkeley College have many clubs online. We have a parents club, we have a book club online, we have criminal justice, which is one of our largest majors.
It's a big area, isn't it?
Yes.
A big academic area.
Yes, it's one of our largest majors. We have a criminal justice club, we have a fashion club, another large major is fashion.
What do they do? Say someone joins a club because it's their academic and or professional interest orientation. They connect with other people in the field and do what?
Sure. They discuss online. They can get together either synchronously or asynchronously. So they can really do as much as they do if they were on site, meeting together in a physical location. They can do it online. They can discuss, they can have guest speakers, they can interact. It really works very well. We've discovered that it's as good as an experience as on-site.
For those who do not understand, Doctor, or appreciate the connection between, because I've taught at several universities and colleges, but have never taught online.
Okay.
And I've
always. You should.
I'm somewhat intimidated by it because my work is in the field of leadership and communication.
Sure.
Currently, full disclosure, at NYU. And I can't imagine teaching communication and leadership online because I'm thinking I have to see you, you have to see me.
Right.
But I'm sensing from some of my colleagues who do it online that that's not true. That we can have a connection without seeing each other.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Absolutely. The discussion board is really the replacement for the classroom.
The discussion board.
The discussion
For those
board.
who don't know what that means, explain it.
That means it's a place where you can log in, you can have conversations, it can be synchronous or asynchronous.
What does that word,
It means you can either do it at the same time or at a later time.
By the way, what are we looking at right there, that video right there? What is that, Jackie? That's online discussion board. We're actually looking at the video there. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Good. So you can post questions, and the faculty member can be there alongside the student, and they can interact. They can go in immediately and respond, or they can go in an hour later, or 2 hours later, or when you have time in the 2 o'clock in the morning and you can't sleep.
Anytime.
You can go in anytime whatsoever. And it really, we've discovered that many students actually open up more online because they're not intimidated with being face to face, and so they're willing to express themselves much more freely because they're not like we are now. They're not facing each other and they're not seeing the facial reactions. So some students do actually a lot better online because they come out of themselves.
You know, I never thought about that because sometimes when I'm teaching, it's a class of 15 or 20 and there are 4 students dominating.
Yeah, absolutely.
That doesn't happen online.
That doesn't, and you can make sure that it's an equal experience for everyone. I felt like you. I had not taught online. I've taught all my life. Computer science was my discipline. And I hadn't taught online until in the 90s I started, actually when this was very new. And I taught my first online class. And it was amazing how students really opened up. Now, you couldn't see them, but you could have. There are some opportunities for doing video conferencing. You use other modes of communications on the phone, Skyping, Twitter.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
That's okay.
Tell us about the mobile app.
We have at Berkeley College, we have a mobile app. So on your iPhone or on your Android or on whatever your smartphone is, you can get access to
Is that where you're looking at it right now? So
yes,
what happens with that?
Absolutely. You can on the go. You know, you may be shopping, you may be on the beach. You can get access to your courses, and you can see what's going on. You can do a discussion wherever you are.
Is this going to become even more expansive, more a part of the higher education experience?
Yes, absolutely.
Because?
Absolutely. Because everyone is busy and many people have to work. They can't afford to just go to school. They have to work. They have responsibilities. They have families. And it really, the time of that traditional high school student graduating from high school, going away to college, that is becoming less and less. And more we're seeing an increase in the number of adult students. And online or types of higher educational experience, which is not the traditional type, is what's going to grow. And I think online education is going to grow. And more higher educational institutions are finding that more and more of their students want that. In fact, they're requiring it. Some of the students are being required to take online courses.
We'll keep talking off the air. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Sure.
It's an
My
important
pleasure.
discussion.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Wells Fargo, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, the New Jersey Education Association, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, PSE&G, and by Verizon Communications. Promotional support provided by the Star Ledger and NJ.com, and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.
New Jersey is a leader in solar power, and PSE&G is doing its part. With 24 solar installations in New Jersey, projects that are giving landfills new purpose and turning former brownfields green. Solar powers more than our homes and schools and businesses. It powers our economy by creating jobs right here in the Garden State. PSE&G, proud to support New Jersey.